Good morning, family.
What's good, family?
Live from the Peace Compound.
We miss y'all, you dig? Coming to you, cross the Bucks line. Cross the Bucks line. Cross the Bucks line. What's good, my family?
Coming to you live from the Peace Compound.
You know the deal. I've been saying it for years now. Cross the Bucks line. You heard. In the beginning, the main reason why my wife started painting was because kind of just to get away from the stress of like teaching.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork came from me going through a really hard time. I was feeling really lost. I was an elementary school teacher. I loved the kids, but there were a few things that just didn't align. And I was trying to find that space where I felt kind of comfortable to grow. And I started learning how to surf, thanks to my amazing husband, and that inspired me to start painting, and I literally would just sit outside our place in Brigantine, New Jersey, and paint seashells. I didn't know anything of how to paint, I just knew it made me happy.
I woke up one morning super early on a Saturday, and I snuck out, and I set up a bunch of pallets, and just literally just like sat outside and started blaring reggae music. And I'll never forget because she came to the window and kind of parted the window and was like staring out. She still wouldn't come outside until the first art piece sold. And then you know how ladies do. She just rolled out and had to take credit for her beautiful art. So that was a journey on the side of the road. I mean, literally that's where a piece of wood came from. It was a feeling. It always just kind of stoked me out. But as if anybody and most people know me, I'm normally always on to the next thing. So, and I remember one day, I was having a conversation with her about like, yeah, this stuff is really good. We should probably try to put a roof over it.
And I thought he was absolutely insane. I said, no way, I'm not opening up a shop. You're crazy. And then we just kept kind of talking about it. Every weekend we'd set up outside, more people would come back, the vibe just kept growing. It was like this small little community in this small little beach town. So I started to maybe think about it, and he said, okay, just appease me, let's like look online and see if any shops are even available, any storefronts. So we literally went on Craigslist, typed in storefronts. I don't even think there was anything else in the subject, and this was the first space that popped up. So it said 1112 Asbury Ave in Ocean City, New Jersey. And Marshall didn't know much about the town. We've spent some time here, but I grew up coming here, so I would come every year with my family, and I knew Asbury Ave was like the place to be. So that for me kind of sparked something. It sparked some memories and thinking about how special this space is and, you know, just being on this avenue. So we took the trip, we set up the meeting with Miss Mary, our landlord, and Marshall from the door was like, it's perfect. I was like, I don't know. He saw the vision from the door, like it looked so different, and he was like, just trust me, I got this, like just let me bring it to life. I will make this vision happen. So we always call it pallets and dreams. That has always been our statement because we build it out of pallets on the side of the road. When we first took the jump, there was really nothing telling us that it would work. We had everything against us. We had no money, no loans, no backing.
Yeah, it got sketchy.
No
it's still
real,
sketchy.
It's still sketchy. No real backing but our belief and our dreams and a vision that we saw. And our simple concept was rooted in creating a space that everybody felt welcome. They felt comfortable. They felt they could be themselves creatively or just to be.
Just to chill.
We wanted to create a community that supported one another, that believed in one another, that we saw this dream that we were building, but we wanted other people to see that too and believe in maybe things that they didn't believe in before. So it was just kind of all rooted in that concept, and we believed everything else would grow from that.
That's the shit I've always loved. I'd love to see people do things that they never thought was possible.
Yeah.
That's probably like, for me, the best thing about Peace and Wood.
This is a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war.
Growth is important. change is important. So piece of wood, I never thought it would be like some massive thing because I didn't want it to ever lose a filling. But I did know, like for the past 2 to 3 years, that like the walls were getting a little small, you know. Being able to really reach out and have these events and being impactful is great, but I always kind of felt like we could definitely use a little more space. But, you know, my wife, who truthfully gets all the credit because I'm in and out running around, like she spends most of the time here, is really, you know, her heart is in the walls, it's in the floors, it's in the conversations, in the space. So when Miss Mary told us that, you know, this place was coming down, like I took it as like I'm gonna hit the ground running and find a new place, but you know, I knew that it was gonna be like, you know, a loss, you know, for Christina. So
Yeah, I mean, that knocked me out. That was really hard news for me to take. Marshall had always been saying every season, like, don't you feel like the walls are getting smaller and it's getting a little tight in here? And I was like, no, I'm so comfortable here. And it feels so good because it is so close. And our story started here and we struggled so much to like open this thing. And it's so special to us. Like the moments we shared inside this shop are endless. And I can't imagine not being here. So that for me was really hard to imagine it being anywhere but here. But like Marshall said, that's the universe. It's forced growth because I think the universe knew I'd never leave here unless you knocked it down. Like they knew, and I know in my core that there's so much more, and not saying it has to grow so big, but moving to a new space will allow some of the things a little more room to breathe. So we do so much in this small little space. We do music events and painting and artists and surfing and all this stuff, and it's fit, but barely. So thinking about that growth and thinking about what it can offer for everybody that's involved in it, I know it's the right move, and I know it comes from a space that it's meant to be. But this space is everything to me. So I definitely had to mourn that loss before being open to that growth moving in a different direction. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. There's so many special moments in here, and it's just walls and floors. It'll come with us. But there is something here that feels it needs to be honored, you know, as we kind of close this chapter, for sure.
we couldn't find a place for months, and we were almost literally to the fact where like we were gonna go through the summer maybe in this space and then hope that we find another space. So it come down to about 2.5 to 3 months of literally failure after failure, striking out after place. The rent's too much.
Way too much.
It's too much. It's too small. It's either way too big. They either want like a freaking credit score that you could like go to the moon with. Due to our struggles, we don't have that. So essentially what happened is there was a place that was for sale, super old, vintage looking place, and she was like, listen, like, to be honest with you, like, I don't really want to rent this place because there's so much that needs to be done to it. And I was like, how about I tell you that we'll own everything that needs to be done at a place and we'll make it into a space. But those 3 months, like, was probably like some of the hardest months I've probably been through.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it's our life. We don't like, it's not like I'm gonna clock out and like get some type of like pension or like move on to something else. Like, this is my life. So I mean, when we exhausted every option and it didn't work, that's why I reached out to this lady in hopes that she would rent it to us.
And I'll never forget when we were like a couple days before signing the lease, and we're like, we don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think we're getting the place.
I mean, it really was. We didn't know
I
even
don't
a
think
couple
we're getting
days up to it.
And it was so much back and forth. And our friend and family, Nick, came over to the unit. Nick has been there since we literally started the shop. And
Nick Quigley.
And
Such a beast.
we were telling him just like, man, it's been a nonstop fight. Like, we don't know if this is the place. I don't know if this is the place. It's just, we're getting put through the ringer. And he looked up at both of us and he said, why would you stop fighting? Like, you fight for the dream. Just keep fighting for the dream. And it was like
you came so far.
That exact moment was exactly what we needed to hear. We sent over like a couple other things, or just had a whole nother conversation with the woman, and the next day we finally got the signed lease, and it worked out. And it's moments like that kind of push you through to keep. And it's the question you should always ask yourself, like, why not? Why would we give up now? Like, that's the craziest thing to even think about.
What I want to take from this space and to move into the new space is just an appreciation for growth, an appreciation for your struggles, and real love. Like real love, like a non-judgmental embrace, a feeling. That's what I want people to feel when they come into the new space. I never want that to change.
Anyone who's been a part of the journey from day one with us, and especially with me, would be the growth that I've experienced personally, that I try to continue to share with everyone. I want everyone to believe in themselves more. I want them to have the confidence to do what they're passionate about. I want them to find themselves and feel comfortable in their own skin.
Whoever they find.
Whoever and whatever that means, it looks different for everyone.
Right.
So it doesn't mean, here, look like us and do what we do. Like, that's never been our message. My message is always just love the skin you're in and continue to grow with it and continue to conquer what stands in your way. And this space has taught me so much about myself that I'm so grateful. And I look at the photos of us opening that we've been sharing recently, and I'm not the same person. And I'm proud of the bumps and the bruises that I've attained along the way, because it's made me stronger. So I think I want to take the strength and the confidence with me. I want to bring the community with us and thank them for what they've done, and just for everyone to know what happens when you come together. I mean, what we're capable of if we all come together and support one another, because this is a true embodiment of us all supporting one another and everybody growing along that. So that's only going to continue to thrive as we continue to grow. And gratitude, and just all the moments that brought us to where we are, being so grateful for that and taking those lessons to grow into this new space.